right? So let's say uh, the ANC, the government now doesn't recognize or doesn't want to, because there's a lot of this going around where the people are saying,
Sure.
yeah, but the ANC is never going to allow it. It's never going to happen because the ANC is going to say no. So I want you to clarify that, because as far as I understand it, they think there's another process, there's another route that can be taken, correct?
Yeah, it is. So we often use, and it's a very good example. We use the example of divorce, because I think it's a really great. This is a divorce we're talking about. We want to file for a divorce from South Africa, and we'd really like it to be amicable. In many ways, it's much the same process. If you want to get divorced from your partner, that starts off with a polite comment. First of all, it starts off with a decision. Have you decided that the relationship's over and you really want to get divorced? That's part one. The same thing. That's the referendum. Do we really want to get divorced from South Africa? If we decide we do want to get divorced, then the next step is then we want to try and do that as amicably as possible. We want to have a consent paper in divorce. We want to sit down and have a sensible discussion that says, look, how do we make this happen? Where it's a difficult situation, but let's just sort this out as adults. And then at the end of that, if one party says, well, look, you know what, you're just not leaving, and they're completely intransigent, then you go to the final straw. So now then you go to the divorce courts, and you get attorneys involved. And now it becomes a little less amicable, but there's still rights and wrongs and processes. But you now have to follow those processes, which take the decision out of the hands of the emotional people, and now the decision is made by other parties who aren't personally involved. It's exactly the same situation here. First of all, do we want to get divorced? The referendum. Secondly, can we have a sensible discussion with the ANC to say, look, you know what, the people of the Western Cape don't want to be part of South Africa anymore, and therefore let us go. In the biblical reference, set my people free. If the ANC says, no, you're not going, it doesn't matter what you want, you're not going, then obviously, no normal people are going to sit around and say, well, look, I'm sorry, okay, well, we're just going to accede to you. And the ANC certainly didn't accede to that themselves when the boot was on the other foot. They went to the international community, they kicked up a hell of a fuss, and rightly so. And they made sure that regardless of what the National Party wanted, that apartheid was ended and justice prevailed, and the independence movement will do exactly the same thing in reverse. At that point in time, we will involve the international community, we'll involve our rights under international law, and we'll take the ANC out of the equation. We will then move beyond them, and at that point in time, other parties will decide. And effectively, I don't want to get into the legal stuff because it's been talked about ad nauseum and it's the last resort. But the bottom line is, it comes down to the decision of the international community. If the Western Cape and the ANC can't agree, the final decision is made by the international community, not the ANC and not the Western Cape. So but there are the three processes. But if you think of it as a divorce, that's how it goes. So the ANC, can make it very difficult, but ultimately they cannot stop independence if it's what the people of the Western Cape truly want.